Good day, everyone. This presentation is all about the appearance, characteristics, compositions, and moons of the planet Uranus.
Appearance of Uranus. These are the interesting facts about Uranus. Uranus is known as the sideways planet because it rotates on its side. Uranus was discovered in 1781 by William Herschel. Uranus was the first planet found using a telescope. Uranus is an ice giant planet and nearly 4 times larger than Earth. It has 27 known moons, most of which are named after literary characters like Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune. Uranus is a ringed planet. As I say, Uranus is the first planet found with the aid of a telescope. It was discovered in 1781 by astronomer William Herschel, although he originally thought it was either a comet or a star. So ang nakadiscovered ay aning Uranus kay si William Herschel aton 1781, pero wala siya nagtuo nga planet ni siya. Nagtuo siya nga comet ra ni siya or a star. It was 2 years later that the object was universally accepted as a new planet, in part because of observation by astronomer Johann Elert Bode. Herschel tried unsuccessfully to name his discovery Georgium Sedus after King George III. Instead, the scientific community accepted Bode's suggestion to name it Uranus. So, gikan sa pag-discover ni William Herschel, 2 years pa siya na-accept nga planet siya. Pero, miskan si William Herschel ang nakadiscover ani wala gi-accept iyang suggestion nga panganlan ni siya og Georgium Sedus, kundi ang suggestion ni Johann Elert Bode nga Uranus ang ipangalan ana nga planet. Uranus from the Greek god of the sky. These are the 10 things about Uranus that we need to know. First is huge. Uranus is about 4 times wider than Earth. If Earth were a large apple, Uranus would be the size of a basketball. So, ang ana siya kadako, kaupaton ang Earth sa iyang kadako. Second is seventh wanderer. Uranus orbits our sun, a star, and is the 7th planet from the sun at a distance of about 1.8 billion miles, so equivalent in 2.9 billion kilometers. So, ing ana siya kalayo sa sun. 2.9 billion kilometers ang iyang kalayon gikan sa sun. Third is shortish day, longish year. Uranus takes about 17 hours to rotate once, a Uranian day. Kung ang Earth mo-rotate siya within 24 hours, kani siya 17 hours ra siya. And about 84 Earth years to complete an orbit of the Sun, a Uranian year. So imagine, tungod sa iyang kalayo, ba-complete diya og tuyok ag Sun, 84 Earth years siya makompleto. Fourth is ice giant. Uranus is an ice giant. Most of its mass is hot, dense fluid of icy materials, water, methane, and ammonia, above a small rocky core. Fifth is gassy. Uranus has an atmosphere made mostly of molecular hydrogen and atomic helium with a small amount of methane. Sixth is many moons. Uranus has 27 known moons, and they are named after characters from the works of William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Seventh is the other ringed world. Uranus has 13 known rings. The inner rings are narrow and dark, and the outer rings are brightly colored. Eight is a bit lonely. Voyager 2 is the only spacecraft to fly by Uranus. No spacecraft has orbited this distant planet to study it at length and up close. So kaning Voyager 2, isa ni siya ka spacecraft nga mo-study sa mga planet. Then kanira siya nga spacecraft ang makaduol or maka-study ani nga planet kay walay laing spacecraft nga makaduol kay pero dili gid siya ingon nga duol kaayo kay wala joy makaduol pag-ayo sa Uranus.
Next is lifeless. Uranus cannot support life as we know it. So ang Uranus dili parehas sa Earth nga mabuhian. Last is one cool fact. Like Venus, Uranus rotates east to west, but Uranus is unique in that it rotates on its side. So ang Venus ug ang Uranus pareha ra nga opposite ang ilang direction sa pagtuyok, dili pareha sa ubang planets. Nya ang Uranus pod kay takilid ang iyahang pagtuyok. Characteristics of Uranus. Uranus is blue-green in color as a result of the methane in its mostly hydrogen-helium atmosphere. The planet is often dubbed as an ice giant since at least 80% of its mass is a fluid mix of water, methane, and ammonia ice. So ang Uranus, ang color niya is blue-green. Unya, ang Uranus pod ang pinakabugnaw nga planet sa solar system. Composition of Uranus. Uranus is made of water, methane, and ammonia fluids above a small rocky center. Ang Uranus pareha sa Jupiter o sa Saturn nga ang atmosphere is made of hydrogen and helium. But ang Uranus lang is naay sagol nga methane, maunang ang Uranus na himong color blue. Uranus also has faint rings. The inner rings are narrow and dark. The outer rings are brightly colored and easier to see. Like Venus, Uranus rotates in the opposite direction as most other planets. And unlike any other planet, Uranus rotates on its side. So parehas akong gingon gaina nga ang Venus o ang Uranus pareha nga opposite direction ang ilahang pagtuyok kaysa sa other planets, og ang Uranus pod is naka-unique sa iya is nagtakilid ang iyahang pagtuyok. Moons of Uranus. Uranus has 27 known moons, most of which are named after characters that appear in or are mentioned in the works of William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Uranus moons are divided into 3 groups. So ang Uranus na ay 27 known moons. Unya na-divide sila into 3 groups, the 13 inner moons, 5 major moons, and 9 irregular moons. Inner moons. As of 2020, Uranus is known to have 13 inner moons. The 2 innermost moons, Cordelia and Ophelia, are shepherd of Uranus' ring, whereas the small moon Mab is a source of Uranus' outermost ring. There may be 2 additional small 2 to 7 km in radius undiscovered shepherd moons located about 100 km exterior to Uranus' alpha and beta rings. So mauni si Cordelia ug si Ophelia nga moon. So sila murag mo inahimong kuan nagbantay sa innermost ring sa Uranus nga planet. Cordelia. Cordelia is one of the smaller moons in the solar system and is the innermost moon of Uranus. It has a diameter of 15 kilometers or 9 miles and is 49,750 kilometers from the center of Uranus. Cordelia acts as the inner shepherd satellite for the Uranus Epsilon ring. So ang Cordelia daw is maoy pinakagamay nga moon nga imong makita sa solar system.
Ophelia. Ophelia is one of the smaller moons in the solar system and is the second innermost known moon of Uranus. It has a diameter of 16 kilometers and is 53,760 kilometers from the center of Uranus. Ophelia is a moon that orbits around the planet Uranus. It was discovered in the year 1986 by arterial Voyager 2. Ophelia acts as the outer shepherd satellite for Uranus Epsilon ring. The name Ophelia is from the character of Ophelia in Shakespeare's Hamlet. Ophelia is the daughter of Polonius and fiancée of Hamlet in the play. Next is Bianca. Bianca is an inner satellite of Uranus. It was discovered from the images taken by Voyager 2 on January 23, 1986. It was named after the sister of Catherine in Shakespeare's play The Taming of the Shrew. It is also designated Uranus 8. Bianca also is one of the smaller inner moons of Uranus. Little is known about it other than its size and orbital characteristics. Bianca belongs to the Portia group of satellites, which also includes Cressida, Desdemona, Juliet, Portia, Rosalind, Cupid, Belinda, and Perdita. These satellites have similar orbits and photometric properties. Other than its orbit radius of 27 km and geometric
Rosalind. On January 13, 1986, Rosalind discovered from the images taken by Voyager 2. It was named after the daughter of the banished Duke in William Shakespeare's play As You Like It. It is also designated Uranus 13. Rosalind belongs to Portia group of satellites, which also includes Bianca, Cressida, Desdemona, Portia, Juliet, Cupid, Belinda, and Perdita. These satellites have similar orbits and photometric properties. Other than its orbit, radius of 36 km and geometric albedo of 0.08, virtually nothing is known about Rosalind. Its surface is gray in color. Cupid. In 2003, using the Hubble Space Telescope, Cupid discovered by Mark R. Showalter and Jack J. Lishwehr. It was named after a character in William Shakespeare's play Timon of Athens. Cupid is the smallest of inner Uranian satellites. Crowdly estimated to be only about 18 km in diameter. This and the dark surface made it too dim to be detected by the Voyager 2 cameras during its Uranus flyby in 1986. The orbit of Cupid differs only by 863 km from the orbit of the larger moon Belinda. Unlike Mob and Perdita, Uranian satellites also discovered in 2003, it does not seem to be perturbed. It is also designated Uranus 27. It should not be confused with the asteroid 763 Cupido. Belinda. Belinda was discovered from the images taken by Voyager 2 on January 30, 1986. It is named after her reign of Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock. It is also designated Uranus 14. Belinda belongs to the Portia group of satellites also, and these satellites also have similar orbits and photometric properties. Other than its orbit, radius of 45 km and geometric albedo of 0.08, virtually nothing is known about it. The Voyager 2 images show Belinda as an elongated object with its major axis pointing towards Uranus. Its surface is gray in color. Perdita. Perdita's discovery was complicated. The first photographs of Perdita were taken by the Voyager 2 spacecraft in 1986, but it was not recognized from the photographs for more than a decade. In 1999, the moon was noticed by Erich Karskochka and reported, but because no further pictures could be taken to confirm its existence, it was officially demoted in 2001. However, in 2003, pictures taken by the Hubble Space Telescope managed to pick up an object where Perdita was supposed to be, finally confirming its existence. It was named Perdita after the daughter of Leontes and Hermione in William Shakespeare's play The Winter's Tale. The moon also designated Uranus 25. On January 23, 1986, discovery image of Perdita taken by Voyager 2. The location of the moon is indicated by the arrow on the upper right. The moon orbits between Belinda and Puck. Instead, it is clearly cuffed in a 43-44 orbital resonance with the nearby moon Belinda. Perdita belongs also to the Portia group of satellites, and also these satellites have similar orbits and photometric properties. Little is known about Perdita apart from its orbit radius of 15 km and geometric albedo of 0.08. Next is Puck. Puck was discovered in December 1985 by the Voyager 2 spacecraft. The name Puck follows the convention of naming Uranus moons after characters from Shakespeare. The orbit of Puck lies between the rings of Uranus and the first of Uranus' large moons, Miranda. Puck is approximately spherical in shape and has a diameter of about 162 kilometers. It has a dark, heavily cratered surface which shows spectral signs of water ice. Puck is the largest inner moon of Uranus. Was discovered from the images taken by Voyager 2 on December 30, 1985. The moon was later named after the character Puck who appears in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, a little sprite who travels around the globe at night with the fairies. In Celtic mythology and English folklore, a Puck is a mischievous sprite imagined as an evil demon by Christians. It is also designated Uranus 15. Puck is the largest small inner moon of Uranus, which orbits inside the orbit of Miranda. It is intermediate in size between Portia and Miranda. Puck's orbit is located between the rings of Uranus and Miranda. Little is known about Puck aside from its orbit, radius of about 81 km and geometric albedo in visible light of approximately 0.11. MOB, or Uranus 26, is an inner satellite of Uranus. It was discovered by Mark R. Showalter and Jack J. Lichweir in 2003 using the Hubble Space Telescope. It was named after Queen Mab, a fairy queen from English folklore who is mentioned in William Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet. Because the moon is small and dark, it was not seen in the heavily scrutinized images taken by Voyager 2 during its Uranus flyby in 1986. However, it is brighter than another moon, Perdita, which was discovered from Voyager's photos in 1997. This led scientists to re-examine the old photos again, and the satellite was finally found in the images. The size of MAB is not known exactly. If it is as dark as Puck, it is about 24 km in diameter. On the other hand, if it is brightly colored like the neighboring moon Miranda, it would be even smaller than Cupid, and comparable to the smallest outer satellites. MAB is heavily perturbed. The actual source for perturbation is still unclear, but is presumed to be one or more of the nearby orbiting moons. The moon is nearly the optimal size for dust production, since larger moons can recollect the escaping dust and smaller moons have too small surface areas for supplying the ring via ring particle or meteoroid collisions. No rings associated with Perdita and Cupid.
So these are the five largest moons of Uranus compared at their proper relative sizes and brightnesses from left to right in order of increasing distance from Uranus. This is the Miranda, the Ariel, the Umbrel, the Titania, and Oberon. Miranda, also designated Uranus 5, is the smallest and innermost of Uranus' 5 round satellites. It was discovered by Gerald Kuiper on 16 February 1948 at McDonald Observatory in Texas, and named after from William Shakespeare play The Tempest. The second major or the largest moon of Uranus is the Ariel. It is the fourth largest of the 27 knowns of Uranus. Ariel orbits and rotates in the equatorial plane of Uranus, which is almost perpendicular to the orbit of Uranus, and so has an extreme seasonal cycle It was discovered in October 1851 by William Lassell. So, ang planet Uranus na ay 27 known moons. So, Ariel is the fourth largest among the 27 moons of Uranus. The third one is the Umbriel. It's a moon of Uranus discovered on October 24, 1851 by William Lassell. It was discovered at the same time as Ariel. So, ang Ariel o ang Umbriel is same discovered by William, same din ang iyahang year. Umbriel is covered by numerous impact craters reaching 210 km or 130 in diameter. Umbriel is the second most heavily cratered satellite of Uranus after the Oberon. The fourth largest moon of Uranus is a Titania, also designated Uranus third. It is the largest of the moons of Uranus and the eighth largest moon in the solar system, at a diameter of 1,578 kilometers or 981 diameter. Discovered by William Herschel in 1787. Titania is named after the Queen of the Paris in Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night Dreams. The last one is the Oberon, also designated Uranus 4, is the outermost major moon of the planet Uranus. It is the second largest and second most massive of the Uranian moons and the ninth most massive moon in the solar system. Discovered by William Herschel in 1787. Oberon is named after the mythical king of the Paris in the solar system. Discovered by William Herschel in 1787. Oberon is named after the mythical king of the Paris and appears as a character in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. So, ang Titania o ang Oberon, same ang nakadiscovered is si William Herschel in 1787. All major moons comprise approximately equal amounts of rocks and ice, except the Miranda, which is made primarily of ice. The ice component may include ammonia and carbon dioxide. So, planet Uranus has also 9 irregular moons. As of 2005, Uranus is known to have 9 irregular moons, which orbit it at a distance much greater than that of Oberon. The farthest of the large moons, all the irregular moons are probably captured objects that were trapped by Uranus soon after its formation. So, gitawag siya irregular because it is a natural satellite following a distant incline and all of them eccentric and retrograde orbit. They have been capturing by their parent planets, unlike the regular satellite which form in orbit around them. Uranus' irregular moons range in size from 120 to 200 km, the Sycorax, to about 20 km, the Triangulum. Unlike Jupiter's irregulars, Uranus shows no correlation of axis with inclination. So this is the first 9 irregular moons of Uranus. The Francisco. Francisco is the innermost regular satellite of Uranus. Francisco was discovered by Matthew J. Holman et al. And Brett J. Gladman et al. In 2003 from pictures taken in 2001 and given the provisional designation Siemens 2001 U3. Next is the Caliban. Caliban orbits Uranus in the opposite direction from the regular moons, and the rotation of the planet itself called a retrograde orbit. So some irregular moons is retrograde because its orbit is also somewhat inclined and eccentric and very far from the planet, more than 10 times farther than Oberon, the farthest regular moon. Next is Stefano. Is a retrograde irregular satellite of Uranus. It was discovered by Brett J. Gladman et al. In 1999 and gave the provisional designation Siemens 1999, confirmed as Uranus 20. It was named after the drunken butler in William Shakespeare's play The Tempest in August 2000. The orbital parameters suggest that it may belong to the same dynamic cluster as Caliban, suggesting common origin.
Trinculo is a retrograde irregular satellite of Uranus. It was discovered by a group of astronomers led by Holman et al. On August 13, 2001, and given the temporary designation as 2001 U1. It was named after the drunken jester Trinculo in William Shakespeare's play The Tempest. Trinculo is the smallest of Uranus' 27 moons and is approximately only 18 km wide and is roughly the size of Manhattan Island. This is the image of Trinculo taken by the Very Large Telescope on September 3, 2002. So retrograde means rotational motion of an object in the direction opposite the rotation of its primary. So the Trinculo moon orbits in the direction opposite to the rotation of Uranus. Sycorax is the largest retrograde irregular satellite of Uranus. Sycorax was discovered on September 6, 1997 by Brett J. Gladman et al. Using the 200-inch Hale telescope, together with Caliban, and given the temporary designation as 1997 U2. Officially confirmed as Uranus 17. It was named after Sycorax Caliban's mother in William Shakespeare's play The Tempest. So the purple one, this one, is the animation of Sycorax's orbit around Uranus. Another one is Margaret. Margaret is the only prograde irregular satellite of Uranus. It was discovered by Scott S. Shepard et al. In 2003 and given the provisional designation as 2003 U3, confirmed as Uranus 23. It was named after the servant of hero in William Shakespeare's play Much Ado About Nothing. So unlike the other moons, Margaret is the only moon that orbits Uranus in the same direction. This is the discovery image of Margaret taken by the Subaru telescope in August 2003. Next is Prospero. Prospero is a relatively small, retrograde irregular satellite of Uranus, discovered on July 18, 1999 by the astrophysicist Matthew Holman and his team, and given the provisional designation as 1999 U3, confirmed as Uranus 18. It was named after the sorcerer Prospero in William Shakespeare's play The Tempest. The orbital parameters suggest that it may belong to the same dynamic cluster as Sycorax and Setebos, suggesting common origin. However, this suggestion does not appear to be supported by the observed colors. The satellite appears neutral in visible light, similar to Setebos but different from Sycorax. So this is the animation of discovery image to show Prospero's motion among background stars, taken by the CFHT in July 1999. Another Uranus moon is Setebos. Setebos is one of the outermost retrograde irregular satellites of Uranus. It was discovered on July 18, 1999 by John J. Cavillars et al. And provisionally designated as 1999 U1, confirmed as Uranus 19. It is named after the god worshipped by Caliban and Sycorax in William Shakespeare's play The Tempest. So this is the discovery image of Setebos taken in July 1999. Prospero and Setebos were both discovered at the same time. The last Uranus moon is Ferdinand. Ferdinand is the outermost retrograde irregular satellite of Uranus. It was first seen near Uranus by Matthew J. Holman et al. On August 13, 2001, and reobserved on September 21, 2001. The object was then lost with no confirmation it was actually orbiting around Uranus. On August 29 and 30, 2003, a team led by Scott S. Shepard surveyed the sky around Uranus with a Subaru telescope and detected two unknown objects near Uranus. These two new objects were reobserved by Shepard et al. With a Gemini telescope on September 20, 2003, and reported to the Minor Planet Center as possible new moons of Uranus. On September 24, 2003, Brian Marsden, at the Minor Planet Center, linked one of the unknown objects reported by Shepard et al. To the lost object observed by Holman et al. In 2001. Holman was then able to confirm the linkage between the 2001 and 2003 objects on September 30, 2003, by observing its location with the Magellan telescope. The linked 2001 and 2003 object was then given the provisional designation as 2001 U2 on October 1, 2003, officially identifying it as a new moon of Uranus, now designated Uranus 24. Ferdinand is named after the son of the King of Naples in William Shakespeare's play The Tempest. Ferdinand is the most distant known satellite of Uranus. So that's the end of our discussion. Thank you for listening.